Yemeni civilians are bearing the brunt of Saudi Arabia's deadly air campaign against this impoverished nation. Over a dozen people have been killed in fresh Saudi airstrikes. At least 9 civilians were killed after Saudi warplanes dropped their bombs on a residential area in the district of Sarwa in Ma'ari province. Saudi fighter jets also killed 6 more people, including 3 children and 2 women in Shabam district of the province Mawit. There have also been several injuries. The districts of Hidan, Sahar, and Majaz in Sada province also came under multiple air raids. The Saudi military continues to pound Yemen, despite appeals by the United Nations to halt the campaign during the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan. More than 4,400 Yemenis, mostly civilians, have been killed since Saudi Arabia launched an aggression against its southern neighbor on March 26. Ajuma Baraka is a human rights activist who joins us from Atlanta to tell us about this. So we're looking at over 3 months of these strikes, women and children being killed, civilians being killed. It's gotten to a point where really the question of the UN, the question of the international community, is becoming somewhat senseless because this war, not too sure what the goals of Saudi Arabia could be except for death and destruction.
I think you are absolutely right. It is a condemnation of the entire international community that this slaughter continues. Look, if there's going to be any semblance of international law and international morality, the Security Council is compelled to bring some kind of common sense to the situation in Yemen. It is a reflection of the lawlessness that Saudi Arabia has been allowed to rain down death on the people of Yemen for months without any kind of penalty from the international community. This is an outrage.
So the countries that are involved in this, we know that the U.S. is providing intelligence, is providing some refueling missions from what we understand, and perhaps to a greater extent they could be involved more. Also the UK. Do you think that their assistance to Saudi Arabia to pound one of the weakest nations is going to backfire on them in terms of the way that they are being viewed?
I think it's already backfired on the U.S. and on the Saudis. That this is being perceived by most in the international community as an international crime, in essence a crime against humanity. The U.S. is not only involved in providing logistical support, but also targeting support. This is in fact a U.S.-Saudi operation. So it is something that continues to tarnish the reputation of the U.S., but on another level, it helps to expose the fact that the U.S. has no moral authority to claim any kind of leadership in terms of human rights or the respect for international law.
Very well, thank you very much for that. Ajamu Baraka, human rights activist there from Atlanta.